Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to get into what really makes us tick. We're talking about those powerful, invisible forces that get us to do things and feel things. Yep, we're diving into motivation and emotion.
So let me start by asking you a question. It sounds really simple, but it's actually kind of profound. Why did you get out of bed this morning? Seriously, was it to learn something new, make your family proud? Maybe it's about landing that dream job. Whatever your answer is, it gets right to the very heart of what we're talking about today.
I mean, think about it. When you see someone like Sunita grinding out 12-hour study sessions, or Amin saving up every penny for a special gift, those aren't just random acts. There's a goal there, there's persistence. And figuring out the why behind all that, well, that's what this is all about.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll figure out what moves you. Then we'll look at the different kinds of drives, biological versus social. We're going to climb a very famous pyramid, explore the world of emotions, and wrap it all up with how you can actually get a handle on your own feelings. Sound good?
All right, let's jump right in. What exactly is this thing that gets us up and going?
At its core, motivation is just the process that gets you to act. It's the thing that starts, guides, and keeps you going towards a goal. And it's no coincidence that the word itself comes from the Latin movere, which literally means to move. It's the force behind everything from grabbing a glass of water to getting a PhD.
And, psychologists have a really elegant way to map this all out. It's called the motivational cycle. It's a super simple model that shows exactly how our internal needs create a push for us to do something. Here's how it works. It all kicks off with a need. Let's say you're hungry. That lack of food creates a drive, that feeling of tension, that gnawing in your stomach. That drive then pushes you into a behavior, like, walking to the fridge. You achieve your goal, you eat, and then comes the reduction. That tension goes away, and your body gets back to a happy, balanced state. And this little cycle, it's happening inside us all the time.
Okay, so here's a really crucial point. Not all our motivations are the same. They don't all come from the same place. It's like we have two different engines pushing us forward.
On one side, you've got your biological motives. These are the big ones, the ones we're born with that keep us alive. Think hunger, thirst, that kind of stuff. But then, on the other side, you have the psychosocial motives. These are the ones we pick up from the world around us, like the need to succeed, the desire to have friends, or the ambition to be in charge.
Now, what's really fascinating is how all these different needs work together. How do we decide what's most important? And that question brings us to one of the most famous ideas in all of psychology.
A psychologist named Abraham Maslow had this belief that all of us have this incredible drive to become our best selves. But, we often get sidetracked. So he came up with this amazing framework to show how our motivations progress. He pictured our needs like a pyramid. And the basic idea is pretty simple. You have to take care of the stuff at the bottom before you can even start thinking about the stuff at the top.
So at the very bottom, the foundation of the whole thing, you have your physiological needs. We're talking about the absolute, non-negotiable basics for survival. Air, food, water, shelter. If you're struggling to breathe, nothing else on this pyramid is going to matter one bit. This is square one.
Okay, once those basic survival needs are covered, then you can move up a level to your need for safety. This is all about feeling secure, having a roof over your head, and being safe from harm. Once that's settled, our motivation shifts again, this time towards belongingness and love. We're social creatures, right? We have this deep, fundamental need to connect with people, to be part of a group, to love and be loved.
From there, we keep climbing to our esteem needs. This is where we're driven by a desire for self-worth, for accomplishment, and for getting respect from others. And finally, if all of that is in a good place, we can reach the very peak of the pyramid, self-actualization. This, Maslow said, is the ultimate goal, to become the absolute most that you can be, to fulfill your own unique potential.
So that brings us to the other side of this coin, because you really can't talk about motivation without talking about emotions. You can think of emotions as the fuel, the vibrant colors that give our drives all their power. Now, it feels like we experience a million different shades of feeling, right? But what's so interesting is that research suggests a lot of them are actually just mixes of 6 basic, universal emotions, and these are recognized in pretty much every culture on Earth. And one of the biggest ways we show what's going on inside is through our faces. The look of fear or the look of anger, it's instantly recognizable to almost anyone, no matter where they're from. And this is so cool. It actually backs up Darwin's idea from way back when, that these basic emotional expressions aren't things we learn.
They're just baked into our biology. They're universal. It's why a smile or a sad face needs no translation.
Okay, so we know what drives us, we know what we feel, but now what? This is where we get to the really practical, empowering part of all this. How do we actually manage these powerful forces in our lives?
Let's take a big one, like anger. The real key to managing it is to understand that flash of anger isn't just a reflex. It's hugely influenced by our own thoughts. And that's great news because it means we have control. We can learn to question the thoughts that are fanning the flames, challenge our own irrational beliefs, and find better, more constructive ways to say how we feel.
And hey, on the flip side, it's not just about taming the negative emotions. We can actively grow the positive ones. Feelings like joy, optimism, and gratitude. They give us energy. They make us more resilient and better at handling whatever life throws at us. And we can do that by finding meaning, building strong relationships, and practicing hope.
So when you boil it all down, the big takeaway is this. Understanding what makes you tick isn't just some abstract thing you learn in a class. When you start to get a handle on your own motivation and emotions, you're really giving yourself a toolkit for a better life, better relationships, more success, and just more balance.
And that brings us right back to where we started, but with a whole new lens. Now that you have a better map of what's going on inside, you've got the power to be the one holding the compass. So the question isn't just what moves you anymore, it's knowing what moves you. What are you going to move toward next?